It began with a sound that didn't belong on that sleepy suburban block, a low, rolling growl that sliced through the afternoon stillness. The deep rumble of Harley engines echoed like distant thunder creeping toward a calm horizon. Four bikers cruised in, their leather vests marked with the blazing emblem of the Iron Guardians. Curtains twitched, doors quietly shut. Even the breeze seemed to pause, unsure of what was coming. But through the roar of metal and steel rose a voice so small, so fragile, it felt unreal. "Sir, will you buy my bike?" The riders slowed instantly. At the edge of the sidewalk stood a tiny girl, maybe 6 years old, her shoes scuffed, her dress neatly pressed as if someone had tried hard to care, even when nothing was left to give. Beside her stood a pink bicycle with a white basket, and in her hand she held a cardboard sign that read, "For sale." One of the bikers, the youngest among them, shut off his engine and swung his leg over the seat. The others followed, heavy boots thudding like distant drums. He crouched down in front of the little girl, the sun reflecting off the chrome behind her. Her name was Mira, and in her eyes, beneath the baby's softness, was a kind of exhaustion no child should ever know. Behind her, under the shade of a tree, sat a woman, pale, wrapped in a thin blanket, too weak to even lift her head. The biker's chest tightened when he saw her. "Please," Mira whispered, her fingers trembling around the sign. "Mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, in standing up when the world looks away, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Warriors." Stories like this show us that compassion still has power. The biker's name was Ryder. His brothers called him Wolf, though the name never suited him. Under the tattoos, behind the leather and scars, lived a man who had lost more than most knew. A father who vanished, a child he never got to raise, and a faith in humanity that had slowly crumbled. But kneeling on that warm pavement, looking into Myra's pleading eyes, something inside him flickered back to life. With a shaky voice, Mira told them everything. Her mother, Clara, once worked for a popular local catering business owned by a man everyone respected, Mr. Hensley. His face decorated charity events and magazine covers, always smiling for the cameras. But when the company downsized, Clara was dismissed without warning. She begged him for just a few more weeks to feed her daughter, but he brushed her aside as if she were nothing more than a number in his ledger. Since then, Clara hadn't found new work. The bills stacked up like bricks around her, the fridge emptied out, and pride kept her from seeking help. Mira had taken the only treasure she owned, her pink bicycle, and decided to sell it so she and her mother could eat. Ryder felt something snap inside him, a tight, burning thread pulled too far. His brothers, Tank, Viper, and Mason, recognized that look. They didn't pity the child. They were furious, the kind of fury that rises only when innocence is crushed by greed. Ryder reached into his vest, pulled out his wallet, and placed a thick bundle of bills into Myra's tiny hands. "Keep your bike, sweetheart," he murmured, voice rough with emotion. But he didn't walk away. Not this time. He told Mira to stay with her mother and promised he would return. Then the engines roared back to life, louder this time, as if the machines themselves sensed the storm brewing inside their riders. The Iron Guardians weren't saints, but they had their own brand of justice. They didn't carry guns into that glass tower where Hensley worked. They didn't need to. They carried truth, and truth, sometimes, is loud enough. The four men strode through the polished lobby, boots echoing like thunder rolling across marble floors. The receptionist froze mid-sentence, eyes widening. Through a glass wall, Ryder locked eyes with the man in the tailored suit, gold watch gleaming, smile too perfect, hands too soft to know honest labor. What is the meaning of this? Hensley snapped as they stepped inside. Ryder didn't yell. Instead, he placed Myra's cardboard for sale sign right in the center of the CEO's immaculate desk. "That," Ryder said quietly, "is what your greed has cost." Hensley tried to rattle off excuses, layoffs, budget cuts, business decisions. But his voice faltered under the weight of the biker's unwavering stare. Not the stare of criminals, the stare of men who'd seen real suffering, real losses, real consequences. Ryder leaned in close, his voice steady as stone. "You can't buy forgiveness, but you can choose to fix what you broke." By evening, whispers spread across town. The once heartless CEO had anonymously donated a year of groceries to struggling families, paid medical bills for single parents, and rehired those he had thrown away like scraps. No one knew what changed him, but 4 rough men and 1 brave little girl did. As sunset brushed the sky with gold, Ryder and his brothers returned to the place beneath the tree. Mira ran toward them, her smile bright as dawn. Clara stood now, weak but upright, holding back tears. Ryder simply nodded, tipping his head. "You don't owe us anything," he said gently. "Just keep fighting. Don't give up." That night, they shared bread. The bikers, the mother, and the little girl who tried to sell her bike not for toys, but for love. The cardboard sign lay folded in Myra's lap, glowing softly in the evening light. And for a brief, sacred moment, the world didn't feel so broken. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can rise from the most unexpected places, please take a second to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Warriors. Your support helps us spread real stories of courage and compassion to those who need hope the most. And before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done in Ryder's place? Sometimes, one brave act is all it takes to make the world believe in kindness again.